Hi guys, welcome back to another video by mykayaplus. Today we will be talking about one of the major questions that a lot of people will be having in your mind, which is how much do we need to actually retire when we actually reach the retirement age. So there are a lot of calculations, there are a lot of ways to actually come to that. But I think the most important thing that you need to know that the methodology, the ways, uh, how to actually approximate everything is just a guideline. Each and every one of us have our own desired retirement lifestyle that we want. Some people would want a simple one. Some people want a more extravagant one. But nevertheless, I think today's sharing would actually give everyone an insight actually by using this particular terminology or ways you can actually give yourself some sort of indication that how much you need to prepare right now so you can actually achieve your desired quality of retirement. So I'll pass it to Chun Bing to talk more in detail. So how are we actually going to, come up with this roadmap or this framework to sustain our retirement life?
Yeah, in short, one of the easy way for you to estimate how much money do you really need to retire is this so-called 4% rules. But before we go into it, actually this is a very sensitive uh, question to myself. When I reach into this kind of age, 30-ish, mid-30, this is always a question that haunt me. I'm not there to ask myself because I may not know whether I've saved enough or not. But like it or not, you need to face it because eventually you will hit that age and you need to know how much actually you need to retire. Not to say in a very luxury lifestyle, but at least you have a safety net and then you know what to expect. So this is a very easy way for you to actually calculate how much do you really need when you hit retirement age. So the 4% actually equivalent to a very simple meaning. You withdraw 4% of your available asset, or another words is 4% of your saving. It can be in any asset classes. Of course, the easy one you can relate is of course the cash. If you have any fixed deposit, or you have let's say equities, or even you have for example some alternative investment like real estate or whatnot, you can actually sell it. Eventually, what does it mean is you can withdraw 4% of whatever thing you have on an annual basis. You should be able to live at least about 25 to 30 years onwards. Think of it, you retire at 60 years old. This should be enough for you to last about 30 years. Good enough, 90 years old, right? And then, yeah, this is of course the life that we expect. When we go into the age, we wanted to have some time for ourselves, for our loved one, and then not to bog down by the money, right? So how to actually relate this in number? So think of it, we mentioned about 4%, and we actually take out 4% to actually spend on the and on your year on a yearly basis. When you actually move down, 4% is like 1/25, right? And then if you further make it into something relatable, your 25 moves to another side of the equation. It's as simple as what you really need from a saving perspective for you to retire is 25 times of your expected annual spending. So to put this into context, so think of it. Let's say when you hit 60 years old, you wanted to actually, you estimated you need about 3,000 to spend per month. So what you need to do is, of course, 3,000 times 12 months, which is your annual spending, 36,000, and then you times 25 that I mentioned just now. So this is a very simple equation. You need 900,000 in saving by the time when you actually hit, let's say 60 years old, 65 years old. It's big in number, but this is the reality. If you actually get lesser in saving, let's say only 500,000, then you have no choice to actually spend lesser when you hit that age. And think of it, 3,000 is with the current context. And when you hit 60 years old, for example, the 3,000 may not worth like what 3,000 is actually having right now. So this is a very conservative one. Of course, the
Yep.
ideal one, you can actually go up to 1 million, 1.2, or even 1.5. So this is a very simple measure. Yeah. So every time when I look into this, and finally I wanted to actually face the question myself, I always have a nightmare. Now I know the number. It seems very big, and every time when I actually go into month end, I get my salary, I spend on credit cards, clear my credit card bills. It's always very scary. And then of course, here and there, you have some emergency spends for whatever, let's say sick, your children for sick or whatnot. So does it mean that we cannot spend anymore? So I always wanted to take a step back that maybe you also can share your opinions. It's like, the number is big. Is saving the only way for you to actually hit your retirement targets?
I think once you are aware of the number, then the so-called panic response will kick in, and it's really up to you to turn this panic response into an action plan. So I think I don't know about you, Chumbing, but personally for me, I do have a spreadsheet to keep track of my net worth every year when I grow older. So we will eventually be saving more because we are taking home a salary. We are diligent enough to not spend all each and every single cent of our salary away. We have to put it into good use, be it in savings or be it in the different asset classes to invest in. And of course, you must always ensure that every year as you grow older, the only thing that also must matter to you is that your net worth is actually growing, right? So, of course, leaving your cash as it is in the deposit or savings account will not help you much in terms of compounding your wealth. So you have to make it work harder by actually having it deployed into asset classes that suits your risk appetite. So I think for me, the number is still quite far away. I know my number, but at least after doing a little bit of simulation and forecasting, say for example, how much you think you will be getting in an increment for the next few years, and then from that you back calculate if your spending does not inflate. That means you continue to spend on the necessary thing. You don't let your quality of life get out of control, then you'll be saving the same percentage, but in terms of the dollar or the ringgit value is increasing because if you can save 30% on top of 10,000 ringgit and on top of 20,000 ringgit, the amount that you're saving and having that amount to actually invest is also going to increase, and that can actually help to compound and help you reach your goal faster. But if you cannot have the disciplines, then I think that is where you are actually going to face a big problem when you actually reach 50, 60 years old, when you're trying to retire, but somehow you found out that it is actually not enough and all the trigger alarms will suddenly sound, but you don't have the time to actually, come up with an action plan to do so.
Yeah, I do agree that. And then when I first actually basically face this question on my own, what I actually did is I tried to save as much as possible. I cut down my lifestyle. I do whatever I can to make sure I save enough. But I basically sacrifice my lifestyle too much that I live a little bit of miserable life. So that's when I think you need to strike a balance. So right
Yeah.
now, one of the way that actually I'm using, which is something that I think is quite useful, is if you like to spend on something, which is actually can bring you happiness or whatnot, do it. But then you can actually strike a balance in between spending versus investing. So for example, if you wanted to spend like 500 ringgits per month on coffee, maybe you can also invest the same amount. So by doing so, at least you won't be spending the money and feel very guilty. And of course, this is just about managing your lifestyle. Ultimately, if you wanted to hit your goal, it's not about saving anymore, it's about earning more money. So of course, if you talk about earning more money, there are a couple of ways that you actually can think of it and do some things. Of course, the easiest one is you can sell your times, sell expertise, sell your skills, and hustle around, do a side job. Try to set up something to actually teach people. If you have a skill, people willing to pay, and you can earn something during the weekend. Sell products. If you like to, let's say, make up some peanut sauce or whatnot, be it go and do something, turn it into a product, sell online. So this something also can allow you to earn more. And of course, if you are salaried man, one of the easiest way, if you are not interested in doing all the sidekick, is to work hard and climb up the corporate ladders. When you have all these things ready, right, then you should also take a step back and think about it. You have all this money coming in, increasing on a year-to-year basis. One of the way that's very important is you need to invest your money so that you can fight against inflation. Yeah, so this is some key takeaway I wanted to share. Maybe over to you, Jupan, to actually conclude the section.
Yeah, I think when we talk about trying to narrow the current situation that we are in and the so-called milestone that we want to achieve, be it 900,000, 1 million, 2 million ringgit, depending on our desired retirement lifestyle. While we are young and while we still have time, this is actually the period to actually put in all our time and effort to actually seek a way, the, the most optimum way to each of our own preferences to try and earn as much as possible. So do not be complacent. If you have a passion in teaching, yeah, do so. If you have a passion in creating a product, do so, because you never know, like, all this small amount, you can start small, but eventually if things actually grow big and hit a certain scale, not only you find joy in doing what you do, but I think in terms of the retirement planning, having another vertical of income or revenue coming through would actually help to expedite and also accelerate and narrow up the so-called distance between where you are right now and where you want to be when you're retired. So I think it's very straightforward. But I think the 4% rule is just a very general rule. If you keep cash, or even if you have 900,000 cash and you just plan to withdraw that cash over the next few years, do know that it does not take inflation into consideration if you plan to just keep cash as it is, right? So 900,000 of currency today might not be that much 30 years down the road. So the 4% rule is particularly more efficient if whatever that you have in terms of the asset is inflation proof. Then so long as you move across the years, as you age, and it also gets protected from inflation, then you can continue to draw down the 4% and without having the fear that you might hit by the 20th year, then you realize that you have been overdrawing more than the 4% because you have been holding on to an asset class that has got inflated and has depreciated in the value.
Yep. So hope you guys actually like the content. What we wanted to do today is basically give you a very easy way to know what you really need. 1 million seems very big, but actually if you actually factor in based on whatever calculation, whatever formula that we have shared just now, 1 million should be maybe barely enough if you put in the consideration of inflation. So yeah, let's work hard together to hit at least 1 million ringgit in saving. And then of course, if you're interested to know more about investment strategies or whatnot, feel free to actually check out all our others videos. And if you have any particular thing that you want us to share, please put inside the comment section. And if you like this content, please feel free to give a thumbs up and also share this video out to your friends and family. I think that's all from us today. See you guys in the next videos. Thank you.
Bye-bye.